Welcome, Warrior. We have so much to discuss, and I haven't been here with you in the last couple of weeks. I've been on the road. I've been traveling about doing Warriors work. I've been in Washington, D.C., fighting for you, fighting for our kids. So, welcome. Thanks for being here. We're going to catch up. Let's start with I see Edie. Always here. Thank you, Edie, so much. You're such a warrior. Reminding everybody to hit the like button. And I will also add to make sure you're subscribed to our channel because it helps, as I always say, like a broken record with the algorithms. Let's do a 5x5 before I start going, and I don't stop. Can everybody hear me? Lionel Nation already says loud and clear. Okay, here we go. I am here to report today that we have had so much winning, so much success. It may not feel like that to you going on with the Warriors, but with families and kids. Now, again, because there are so many headlines about all kinds of other stuff and a lot of negative stuff. And yes, here on the Warriors, we're always bringing to your attention because that's our job to make you aware of what's happening behind the scenes, things you may not hear about, in on other media outlets, certainly not cable. And I'm here to report this is going to be a feel good for the next, while we do this, because let me start with let's start with Washington, D.C. I just got back from D.C. Now, we did a rally on Tuesday, a Mother's Day rally for online safety. And you heard me, you've been hearing me talk about it. We didn't want flowers and candy for Mother's Day. We want our government to hold big tech accountable. Before you get all worked up about everything, we are all pro innovation, pro technology, all of that. But why should big tech be the only industry where there are no regulations? And we now have the proven harms to our kids. We talk about that on the Warriors all the time. So we held the rally. We had 30 survivor mothers, all of their children no longer here. Social media harms, sextortion, cyberbullying, all of it. Eating disorders, that's a big one. We had a lot of young people there from the Eating Disorders Coalition. And also, buying pills. I mean, think about how crazy we have to keep talking about all these harmful topics. You can, buy pills online with 2 clicks. Nobody's stopping anybody. Have them delivered to your front door. So, look, we are fighting. We've been fighting. Now, our rally, we knew that we would have the sponsors of our Kids Online Safety Act attend. We had loads of press. Everybody was there, from Wall Street Journal to Reuters. We had CNN, Fox, everybody. It was crowded. Right there, right with that dome of the Capitol behind us. We're all about visuals. So, but here's what happened. Those mothers held up pictures of their children. They held up banners. We had huge cards that everybody signed that we have presented to Congress. This week in particular on Capitol Hill is all about the issues we talk about here on the Warriors. It is our Kids Online Safety Act. So Senator Marsha Blackburn, co-sponsor along with Senator Richard Blumenthal, truly bipartisan effort, we expected them to come and to speak to these mothers. And we had dads there and family members as well, different organizations, advocates. But the other one that showed up, and I want to give her a shout out, is Senator Amy Klobuchar. And she was very instrumental. I don't think the public really knows about this. She was very instrumental of bringing our Take It Down Act into the forefront for our First Lady and the President. She met Melania Trump at the inauguration, and she brought it up. She said, we have this Take It Down Act, which is, it's illegal to share deep fakes. That's basically the bottom line for the bill. I'm not going to go through all the language and confuse everybody. And Melania Trump took an interest in it. So it's just about a year ago that we were all in the White House, the Rose Garden, those of us who worked on Take It Down and work on Kids Online Safety Act, for the signing of that piece of legislation, the Take It Down Act, with the President and the First Lady. This was groundbreaking. I mean, this was just not done before. So naturally, it was very exciting, right? Because it's like every day you're pounding your head and talking about common sense and safety for kids and families, and everybody agrees with you, and then you can't get anything done. Kind of seems like that, right? So we had this 1 year ago. So we automatically really thought Next step, Kids Online Safety Act, no problem. Passed 91 to 3 in the Senate, goes over to the House, and just sat and sat and sat there. Um, Thank you, the warden. Appreciate what you do, Lynn. God bless. And back at you for being here, for listening, for participating. Um, Fred, you know when I'm on board, you must restore your faith because I am relentless appropriately. And I'm jumping all over everybody, but just bear with me because I haven't been here in a few weeks. Also, very committed to helping our young people, mentoring them, which we do a lot of, because they are our future adults and leaders, right? So we need to mentor them, empower them so they can carry forth. We'll get to that in a minute. And I had two in particular with me on Tuesday on Capitol Hill when we were going to various offices of those in Congress who have not co sponsored the Kids Online Safety Act. We're up to an unbelievable 76 co sponsors. So we had 91 in the Senate. Now we're up to 76. We still have, some holdouts. We have, of course, and I'm a constituent, Senator Gillibrand from here in New York, Senator Cory Booker, my home state of New Jersey. So we went around to all those offices. Again, empowering. What is your, boss thinking? Do you know about the Kids Online Safety Act? All of that jazz. But I had these two young women, and I have to say, so engaged, so passionate. It gave me so much hope. I so enjoyed. It's a lot. It's a lot in Congress. You got to go, go, go. You got to make your schedule. These are big buildings, big hallways, a lot going on. You got to map it out. You just don't show up and walk around because you'll just walk in a circle. And these two were on it. They wanted to help me so much. I wanted to teach them how you speak when you go into an office. After I did it a few times, they got it. Then they became confident, and then they would add things after I spoke. It warmed my heart. So I want to share with all of you that we have a lot of hope. There are a lot of young people like them. Okay. So that is our job as the adult, you don't have to be going to Washington to Capitol Hill, although I'd like to bring everybody with me and storm the Capitol nicely, peacefully, with all of this about child safety. But do it in your own community. Do it within your own home. We got to empower our kids. Okay. We got to build them up because everything's been getting ripped down over the last few decades. Now we see it. Now we know it. We got to work. We got to just do it. We got to work harder. But anyway, so we had Senator Amy Klobuchar. I do want to give a shout out to her because she came and gave a very passionate speech. You have to remember, we at the Warriors will work with anyone doing great work for child safety, doing great work, for human trafficking, anti-human trafficking, doing great work for artificial intelligence. Again, the safety part of it. So we had these beautiful speeches, Marsha Blackburn, and we had Senator Blumenthal, and we had Senator Amy Klobuchar, and lo and behold, who I saw out of the side of my eye, we were on this little grass across, right from the Capitol, the dome. I see Ted Cruz walking towards us. I want to tell you the importance of Senator Ted Cruz, who came and gave a speech. The importance of Ted Cruz coming is because he heads up the Senate Commerce Committee. And that is where, along with Speaker Mike Johnson, bills go to get a date, get on the floor, go for a vote. Now, we already know from our work at the Warriors, okay, and with our colleagues and our sources, should the Kids Online Safety Act, I shouldn't say should, when, I'm going to say when it goes to the floor for a vote, it will pass. It will with flying colors, okay? But you got to go through this process. So after the Take It Down Act, and then we got Kids Online Safety Act now in the House, again, out of the Senate, 91 to 3, sitting. Nobody, including the sponsors, Senator Marsha Blackburn, Senator Richard Blumenthal, couldn't have worked harder. Truly bipartisan effort, which again is something great to see in this day and age. I do believe what we talk about in the Warriors, what we work on, Kids Online Safety Act, the AI work is truly the last bipartisan. The issues I think were we may ever see in our lives. But anyway, um, so Ted Cruz has been responsible for not allowing the next process in the House, which is you mark it up. And it is exactly what it sounds like. You take something that's in the House, you read it, you debate it, you amend it, and you just shove it onto the floor for a vote. Well, none of this was happening. Nothing at all. Standstill. So Ted Cruz has not been showing his face. Ted Cruz has not, for the last year and a half, been meeting with any parents, meeting with anybody about the Kids Online Safety Act. Nothing. He, along with Speaker Mike Johnson, they're responsible for getting this piece of legislation to the floor for a vote. So when I saw him out of the side of my eye, I'm like, well, let me think about this for a minute. The tide is turning. I have a few ideas. There were loads of cameras there, a lot of media coverage. He likes a camera, right? But here's the thing, and we will hold his feet to the fire, because he made a speech promising, he used this word, promising, he will get the Kids Online Safety Act to the floor for a vote by the end of the year and onto the president's desk. Now, the congressional session is up in June. We need two weeks. We need to have it, mark it up now. What is the holdup? Empty words. So we've been there. We've got parents there today. This is unacceptable. That's great that he's even addressing it. He came to our rally. He made this promise. But, we can't wait until December. You start all over again with the new session. And we've got to get this done now. There is no reason. I know, Fred. How can they be so diametrically opposed to the vote in the Senate? Well, that's exactly it. When it was 91-3, we didn't think twice about the House, and therein something happened. Now we can talk about all the things I think that happened. Maybe I know that happened. Big tech's all over Washington, right? Money talks. A lot going on there. Texas and Louisiana. So Texas is Ted Cruz. Louisiana is Speaker Mike Johnson. Those are their home states. The two states building the biggest AI data centers right now. Those massive warehouse, weird looking, taking over farms and things like that. I'm sure you've seen them on your own, sucking up the water, sucking up the air. I don't know if anybody has seen, I saw some videos posted a couple of weeks ago. Somebody went out their back door and it was 1:00 in the morning, and how in the distance in Texas, you could see all these lights. They work around the clock and all this kind of steam emanating. And it was kind of far away, but I want to say maybe, I don't know for sure. I remember the person said it was like, this is 3 miles away or something like that. And it looked like the daytime from, looking in this direction. So perhaps, dig a little deeper, connect the dots, whatever you want to say. But we at the Warriors separated out the fact that Ted Cruz came, he made this statement, plenty of media covered it. We have it, we have it. We will hold his feet to the fire. So now the next 2 weeks is getting him to mark it up sooner. And this is all good news. The sad news is that we have to keep bringing these parents who are brave and committed and telling their stories over and over and over again. How many times do they have to talk about their children? The horrible trauma, okay? We love our parents. We take care of them. They want to do this. Nobody's forced to do anything. The ones that can do it, because they always say the same thing. We do it for those who can't do this, who can't speak out, are unable, but we have to be there for them. Remember, we can never forget, I'm not a survivor parent. We have to be the strength next to them. Check on them. Make sure, even when they say they're okay. Can you imagine? I mean, this is unimaginable horror that they've lost their child, and that this is traumatizing the entire family unit, and that they come repeatedly holding the signs up. But we had a huge banner, right? And the moms stood there holding this banner the whole time. I do like that a colleague started chanting, "Mark it up, mark it up," in front of Ted Cruz. And he kind of, I think, finished his speech a little early, perhaps. and sauntered off. But the good news is we've gotten this far. The sad news, to get back to that, is that Senator Marsha Blackburn, a terrific champion for child safety, many pieces of legislation over the years, is leaving this session in Congress. She really has been a warrior for all of us. I don't know if people understand there aren't too many warriors like her in Congress. She's going back to her home state of Tennessee and running for governor. She's a mom and a grandma, and she's been in Washington. And I have to, that place, as you know, can suck the life out of you. When I get there, crack of dawn, it's like go, 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 which I want to do to cover as much ground as I can, but it's intense. So I can't imagine, even working there day in and day out. I can, but when we talk about the Kids Online Safety Act and how difficult things have been with this seemingly pretty, much, let's hold big tech accountable on some level. And then on top of it, so we're all a little bit, dismayed about Senator Marsha Blackburn leaving, but she has been committed, and we owe her so much. I really want the public to understand this. Again, this is not about party lines for us. We're all Americans. This is the way I look at it. It's all about family structure, kids' safety. Take it a step further. It's about national security, right? Going online, these different groups, I'm sure you heard about 764. It's been around a long time. The FBI only started putting out warnings last year. They infiltrate, they poison our kids' minds. We have so much going on. So right now, this is a good step, what we have happening. And I'll certainly keep talking about Kids Online Safety Act. Thank you, Nikki. But we have to also focus. We can't, it's tough. There's a lot of issues going on at the same time. In the meantime, we at the Warriors are working on everything AI in the background, because that right now is everything. So in my mind, the way I'm thinking, look, as long as Kids Online Safety Act passes, it is the first sensible piece of legislation with a duty of care. We want our Senate version, okay, our original version, 1748. We want that implemented into legislation. I'm prepared. I know our president knows about this, and I'm going to leave it at that. And we're going to fight the battle, and we're going to get this done. But the AI battle is right behind it. Now, the good news on AI in Washington, I want to share, if you're following it, is that our president has walked back. He wants a little more vetting before this is all unleashed on the public. Again, we're going into national security, whether it's poisoning our kids' minds, from the internet, these groups like 764, and just the dangerous algorithms we now know exist. But these big tech companies have had nothing, right? You got to wear a seatbelt. I know I say it all the time. You're supposed to wear a seatbelt, right? But big tech can just run amok and make all this money off of all of us and our kids. So, it's coming down to something. Not exactly sure. In the meantime, if we can get our kids online safe, get something to show these brave parents, to show all parents that we care, right? That we're listening, right? With the duty of care, that big tech, these companies, when they put out their product, right? Because we just came out of that California trial not long ago, where Mark Zuckerberg strolled in there with his entourage, all wearing their Meta glasses. Listen, this guy has no shame, right? But the judge went crazy because Meta, they're looking. Who are the jurors? Who are the parents? Who are family members? What's going on? Really gave it to them. But Mark Zuckerberg has gotten away, Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. He has gotten away with everything. So he thought he'd get away with this. However, this case brought, specifically in California, where they have very strong product liability laws, that was the basis of this case, right? It was about the product itself. And you know what? They were found guilty. Product liability. You knowingly put out a harmful product. We know it from whistleblowers. We know it from internal memos we have. We know it. So now it's a whole different ballgame. So I'm even thinking, going back to Ted Cruz, well, there's thousands of lawsuits now. Those two lawsuits, the other one was in New Mexico, okay? That was more consumer protection laws with children's information being shared, but two different angles, right? Coming at that okay, running a little scared. I don't think too scared because they have loads of money. So, right. But walking some things back. So remains to be seen, but we're in a good spot for today. That's what I like to say. But you can never take your eye off the ball with AI. But I'm glad our president is putting out a statement last week. We're going to vet a little more before we unleash things. National security. Does he mention children specifically? No, he doesn't. That'll come, I promise you. But for now, this is good. So I wanted to share all of that. And what we did, on the Hill, it does make an impact because big tech has right now, we know Meta has one lobbyist who, for every 4 members of Congress, they're there 5 days a week. They are there in the ears of the staff, anybody they can get constantly. And and I know people are overwhelmed, they're overworked. Whatever they hear last is pretty much how people, I think studies actually show that they're going to go with. So this is all good news that's happening. We also have a Warriors Take Action that I'd like everybody to consider. You can go to, well, actually, you should go to the channel and listen and watch my interview with Melissa Henson that we posted yesterday. She is the policy advisor and cultural media advisor for Concerned Women for America. She's a longtime friend of the Warriors. She used to be with the Parents Television and Media Council, which disbanded, and she now has this position. And the FCC has put out a call to action due by May 22nd, but we need the public to get involved with this. And that call to action is that, broadcast television has standards, right? Certain content can't be put on. It has to be put on after 10 p.m. because they know younger children are watching the earlier hours, all of that. But streaming platforms, there's nothing. There's no kind of real ratings system that is realistic, because in her research, Melissa Henson found out that over 41% of the content on Netflix that is labeled for children has sexual themes, LGBTQIA plus themes. And the call to action here is not even about that. It's that parents have the right to know what their kids are watching, so label it correctly, right? Do not put false labels on. So parents can decide if you want your child to watch Strawberry Shortcake with Transberry as Strawberry's friend, that's your right, okay? We are talking about the labeling, right? If it says, Y7, whatever that rating is, make sure that content is appropriate, not sexual themes with teenagers. And Netflix has been getting away with this for a long time. It's not only Netflix, it's other streamers as well. So the FCC finally put out, the link is on, you can go to our X, you can go to our Facebook, but certainly look at the Melissa Henson right here on the Warriors channel, and you will see in the body of the video where you click on all the work's done for you and you just answer a couple of questions and add your name. It helps tremendously because we want to bring, what we always try to do with the Warriors is bring in the public, bring in, we don't want to hear ourselves talking. We want to educate you, but we need you to participate. That is why we have these calls to action. We want, one of my jobs is really to getting you to spring into action and do a little bit more. So if we can put out take actions that maybe take at most 5 minutes of your time, that's a Warriors move. You've done it, you've helped us, and that's it. We don't expect you to march in Washington, and well, that would be nice. But I'm urging you to please look this up, go to the Melissa Henson interview and listen, look at the links in the body. I always put links in the body of the videos so you can click on, do different things, read more, that type of thing. So we have all that going on. And I think right now what we have to focus on, let's get back to focusing on the kids, focusing on, and I mean this because to some it may sound like a broken record, but while all of this, everybody's involved in their lives, and now we're in May, right? We're going into I think some states actually start, I guess after Memorial Day, we start getting into that summer vacation type of thing. Interesting new study also that about the families from the Family Institute. It's kind of a no-brainer, but I will share it with you. I have to I have to post it. I have not posted it yet. I was just reading it and going through it a little bit earlier, but it's basically parents are so concerned about the safety of their child going outside alone, okay? But they're not concerned about safety online for their kids. The gist of this kind of is there's different stats, which I will post it after I stop speaking here, but it's 60% of teenagers, it's like 14 to 17, are not allowed to leave their house, like alone. 14 to 17. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know everybody's ages here, but I don't know. I was walking to the corner store at, I don't know, 8 years old, probably, with my sister, um, babysitting in the neighborhood, 11 years old, coming home at 11 o'clock at night. Now, I'm not suggesting, but I'm just saying we've now gotten into this overprotection of, and listen, it's not a good world, a lot of it out there. But overprotection for children even playing in a backyard. And I get it because we work with a lot of cases of missing children. We're always posting about missing children. That's another thing. I keep asking every day, where are all these missing children? Where do these trafficked children, where are the parents? Where did they come from? Are they ever held responsible? I'm still waiting for the border, all those kids, which we never finished that whole thing. Where are those kids? And I do ask around Washington, and I do ask trusted colleagues. Like we hear something like 89,000 were found. Where are they? Because nobody I know knows where they are. Are they in homes? Are they placed with people? Like nobody knows. Shouldn't somebody know? Shouldn't we have reports on this? That's another story. So I'm always asking, where are the children? Remember, if you see something, say something. Call local 911, also 1-800 call FBI. Local. Unfortunately, a lot of the national numbers I started not giving out because they don't pick up the phone. And if you're in crisis or you see something that's happening in seconds, you got to report it. So local. But I wanted to say that this report really shows all these graphs and charts and colors and ages and focus groups and this and that. Now, you can sit in your backyard and let your kids play in the backyard. But that was even considered kind of like a no-no. Certainly, there is an author. I'm thinking of her name. It's like Free Range Kids. It was also part of the whole Professor Jonathan Haidt's Anxious Generation. She worked with him with all of this. I don't know how comfortable I'd be in today's age. I mean, I live in New York City. I don't know where everybody lives, but letting a child 8 years old walk alone to school, and I'm not sure about that one. I don't know how everybody feels about that. Fred has a good point here. They should track the traffickers the way they track potential terrorists. Well, I think traffickers are terrorists. Absolutely. Again, a reminder, the criminal cartels are working in all 50 states. They are known for drugs and weapons, but now right up there on the top is human trafficking, especially sex trafficking of children. Okay. They're also, I received, probably can't talk about it yet. I received it today, a report of seemingly, how should I put this? I don't want to give away too information until I can vet this a little bit. Not vet it, but get the okay to really talk about it. But using other businesses that seem very like innocuous, but really behind the scenes, it is really the human trafficking weapons arm. I'm going to leave it at that for now. So it's like happening right under our noses. So if I'm being told this, I know this, the sources who give it to me are well vetted. Why aren't all these people being treated like terrorists? The attack right now is on the American public. There is a war on for our children. I've said it for years. We don't talk about it enough. We need to have our facts and our information. We saw how many things played out during COVID against our kids, against parents, right? The pendulum, though, luckily is swinging back. The American public will not put up with this nonsense. I don't care what media tells you, what you read online. Um, Remember, online is basically fake, right? I can't tell you my postings about Kids Online Safety Act. Pictures of us in front of the Capitol speaking, about survivor families. I mean, you can look at my stuff, right? And the bots that come after me saying the most horrible, horrible things to me. And we're a family show, so I can't repeat it. But hello, Martha. But they're allowed to just say whatever they want. Yes, we have a First Amendment because I'm always hearing about First Amendment rights. This is what these people are telling me, calling me horrible names. I don't care, right? But what I do care about is that this is the kind of thing that happens to our kids. So when a kid is bullied like that, say in the 5th or 6th grade, the pile on, right? And they emotionally can't handle it. Because people have said to me, why would a child, harm themselves, right? The ultimate harm. Why don't they just ignore and block and walk away? Unless they discuss it with somebody, come to a trusted adult, the parent, the grandma, they don't know how to deal with it. Because when I wake up every morning and see this onslaught of these horrible things they're going to do to me and horrible, and they're allowed to just do that online. Now, I think we have to draw the line somewhere when physical violence is mentioned. Yet, if I post something about, actually, I posted something today, and they said, we have to review this for 24 hours. Oh, I know, it was about Epstein. And we have to give this an extra review for 24 hours to make sure it's appropriate. The only thing, it's appropriate. I said the name Epstein, that's it. Everything that is in that video is appropriate. But you see how they come after certain things and not after these other terrorists. I'm agreeing with that, Fred. So I just wanted to say hello to everybody, get back on track. I'm back at it for the next couple of weeks. Maybe for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I have to be back in Washington. We have a lot happening. Certainly the end of the session. We have to work so hard. What you can also do, I leave you with this. So you've got your FCC. Remember, go look at the Melissa Henson interview. Find that link in the body of the video. Please submit a comment. Please, it's very simple. We have the dialogue there. You want ratings on children's shows to be appropriate. This is not about monitoring, banning. Watch your Transberry. We don't care. That's your call. You do what you want with your kids, but we don't want deceptive ratings. So parents think, okay, well, that's rated okay for the 5 and under crowd, this cartoon. So little Janie and Johnny can sit there and watch it. And yet, unbeknownst to you, there's sexual content. Now, and I know this is wrong. And they've been getting away with it for years. And it's time to stop. So please participate in that. And also, it doesn't hurt if you put out to your elected officials, you just go to house.gov, senate.gov, and find out who, you might not know, represent you. But not only that, you've got the email there, the phone number there, the mailing address. It's easy, especially with email, right? Even a phone message. You leave a message if the machine goes off. Do they call it a machine? I guess. Voicemail these days, I think they call it. And just say, we urge you to support the Kids Online Safety Act. I am here to tell you the Kids Online Safety Act is the best piece of legislation to begin holding big tech accountable. And so I ask all of you to join us, participate, and help us with all of this. With that, I want to thank all of you for being here. What is Farmer writing? After being bullied growing up, I accepted when a friend offered Mexican steroids for $50 back in 94. I've had heart issues since 96 and now worn a Zio heart monitor 3 times. Well, I guess you're saying it's connected, or you think it's connected, or you've been told it's connected. Listen, we have to tell our kids, we have to tell all of us, even adults, do not buy drugs online. There are even, I think the FBI did it last year. They don't do it enough, though. They put out, there are drug websites, like web pharmacy type things that look so legitimate. And they're actually all scams and fakes. And listen, another thing is, the constant fight people have with me about marijuana. the marijuana today is not the marijuana of yesteryear. It is potent, it is full of chemicals, and it is being cut, a lot of it, with fentanyl. However, they can extend the product and create a product cheaper to steal more money from you. Do not buy any kind of drugs. I don't care if it's an aspirin, unless you know this is a real place. Please do your homework. We've got all that going on. And please tell your kids, you cannot buy anything. We are working with a family now, and they're working very hard. Great 16-year-old boy and great student, great everything. Okay. And he was starting an after school job and apparently reached out to a friend online he went to school with. And this other kid told him where to go online and buy 2 pills. And that was it for him. Okay. And so I'm actually going to have the parents on. I'm arranging now. They want to talk about it. They were in Washington with us on Tuesday at the rally. And they're from Arizona. And they want to, this boy is one of 5 children. And they do want to talk about it because he never did anything they said wrong, anything. And just because his friend, and they want this friend now held accountable for this fellow teen, who I believe is maybe a year older, accountable for this. So that would have been a 17-year-old. So talk to your kids, talk to each other. Remember, our hashtag at The Warriors is community creates change. And be kind. I know it sounds very simplistic, and take care of each other. It doesn't take a lot to smile at somebody, hold a door open for somebody. But right now, there is a war on for our children. We have to focus on them, our future adults and leaders, and we have to empower them. Like I empowered the 2 young women on Capitol Hill who were thrilled, like to be with me and to do this work and happy. And I talked to them, and it was really a joy to see how they were like sucking up this attention and just enjoying. We had a joyful day. So do that in your own home and community. And we'll be back again. And with that, I want to thank everybody for following linswarriors.org, for all of your support, including donations and services, things you write to me. I've been receiving some lovely notes and emails and things like that, because I want all of you to wake up each and every day and go out and be a warrior. It's 2026. Today, no more sitting on the sidelines. We must all come to the table, and we can and must do something. Thanks, everybody. We will speak again soon.